Dr. Jones.
Hi friends, welcome back to my channel Streaming with Swatin. And today we're going to review the fifth and the final part of Indiana Jones movie, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I'm already quite late for this movie, so I guess most people might have already watched this movie. So this is going to be a spoiler review. So if you haven't watched this movie yet, do watch this movie and then come back. Before I start, I would like you to hit the like button for this video if you like this video, to upvote this video, and to hit the subscription button. Your subscription will help us to upgrade this channel. So in case if you haven't subscribed yet, do hit the subscription button, and there beside that there's a bell icon. Hit the bell icon for notification. And you can also follow me on my social network pages like Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. The links for these social media pages will be given below in the description box. I was not sure what to expect from this movie after a very disappointing outing in 2008 with Indiana Jones and Kingdom of Crystal Skull. And I still feel that they should have ended with the trilogy instead of extending it further. In the first movie, Indiana Jones and the Raider of the Lost Ark, released in 1981, and the second movie, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, released in 1984, before I was even born. And in the third part, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusader, released in 1989, and I saw this trilogy in television several times before, and I think Indiana Jones and the Last Crusader remain my most favorite Indiana Jones movie in the franchise. That's a very personal favorite, but I was never extremely excited about Indiana Jones movie, but I enjoyed the first three movie. In 2008 they brought back the franchise with Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, which was the first Indiana Jones movie I saw in theater with my friends, and I felt that was not the best Indiana Jones movie, and they really didn't require to come back with this movie. But I think I liked that movie more than this movie. Although I didn't like that movie much, but I think it was still better than this movie. In the fifth part, Steven Spielberg stepped back from the director's chair, and this movie is directed by James Mangold, who's previously directed films like Logan and Ford versus Ferrari, and I loved those movies a lot. So I had a bit of an expectation from this movie, but sadly this movie is a bit of a disappointment for me. I think that ending with a trilogy could have made this franchise creatively much more rich and memorable, and it makes a big difference when you add up something in a franchise, a very good franchise. It kind of slightly ruined the movie as a totality, but unfortunately they chose to milk on the success of the trilogy, and that resulted in a very ordinary fourth and the fifth part. This movie starts off really well with the very typical Indiana Jones action scene with the de-aged Indiana Jones, and here the CGI was not the best, and there was a few inconsistency in the lips movement that can be seen clearly. And but for me that didn't matter so much. I thought that the first 20 minutes is still the best part of this entire movie. By the end of this action scene with Matt Mikkelsen get smashed to death, but we go forward in 1969, and then he returns back. For quite some time I was thinking that how did he survive, and there was no explanation for that. I thought maybe at some point of time they will give some kind of a flashback sequence to show that how he survived, but nothing like that happened. And so you have to just take it as a part of the story. And then we get to know that Indiana Jones had a close friend, Dr. Basil Shaw, and he was so close that he made Indiana Jones his daughter's godfather. But we have never seen his close friend in any of the previous movies. There was no genuine good moments between Helena and Indiana Jones in entire movie. And then we get to know that Indiana Jones lost his son, and his relationship with wife got broken because of losing his son, and that kind of made Indiana Jones a really very depressing person, a very different from the Indiana Jones character that we were introduced in this franchise. But I like the way the actions, some of the action sequences were shot, although the scenes were quite silly and needless, but still I like some of the action sequences. This kept in mind of the fact that Indiana Jones is an 80-year-old man now, and so they choreographed the action sequences that suits him as an 80-year-old Indiana Jones, and suits the personality of Harrison Ford, which I thought was a good job. I also thought that the set designing was quite good, and especially the set creation of the era 1969 was quite impressive. Towards the end, they get to complete the dial, and I was a little worried that they might ruin some of the previous movie, because now they have the power to travel in time, and like in the movie Terminator, the time travel really ruined some of the previous storyline that we liked in the first and the second part. But thankfully they didn't do that, and instead they are manipulating the audiences with useless nostalgia. This franchise has integrated a lot of new stuff in this movie, and probably that is the reason that some audiences like this movie. At the end, Indiana Jones is not ready to return back to his own time zone, even after being persuaded by Helena. Looked a bit out of place and unlike Indiana Jones' personality. Remember that we have a similar scene in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusader, where he was tempted for the gold, and his father, played by Sean Connery, tells him to leave that, and he leaves it. But here he needed to get punched by Helena, which I thought was a very weird scene, because it completely changed the personality of Indiana Jones completely. And there's also a scene previously where his body gets gets covered with some insects and all, and he gets irritated, which again is a very weird and out of place scene, because we saw a similar scene before where he calmly removed insects and all. So it seems like Indiana Jones lost interest in to save history, and his love for archaeology has reduced in this movie, which was the most important characteristics of Indiana Jones franchise. And that is, in my opinion, is a very important aspect of this movie. At the end, the reunion with his wife was sweet, but I thought it was very much predictable, and I was expecting that at the end there will be a reunion. But at the very end, Indiana Jones hanging the hat is emotional. But I still prefer Indiana Jones along with his father and friend Salah and Rudy, returning to the sunset in Indiana Jones Last Crusader much more, because that's was much better ending than this ending. Even the fourth part, I thought the ending was better than this one earlier, because in the end, like in this movie earlier, Indiana Jones is accused of murder, and he travels in aircraft and he returns back, and nobody really bothered him with the murder accusation. So writing in this movie is very weak, and even if you see the ending, it doesn't add up completely, and the story looks incomplete in a way, because we didn't get answers that what happened to the murder accusation that he had. acting was just all right, but the story was the issue, and the way it was done. I saw all the parts of Terminator series, but whenever I want to rewatch, I prefer to watch the first two part only. Similarly, if I want to rewatch Indiana Jones series, I would prefer to watch the first three movies, because for me it is still better to watch this movie as a trilogy. It is not that I didn't like anything about this movie, but it is just that I think that trilogy, to watch this movie as a trilogy, is much better idea. Overall, according to me, this is a very average movie and the weakest Indiana Jones movie in the Indiana Jones franchise. My rating for this movie is 5 out of 10. Do let me know what do you think about this movie, and in the comment section do let me know which is your most favorite Indiana Jones movie. Thank you for watching this video. Be safe, take care, and peace.